Welcome to Filling You In, a dental podcast with A Squared, where dentist entrepreneurs and spouses, Dr. Anushka Gaglani and Dr. Abhishek Nagaraj, welcome industry experts and innovators to explore trends in business practices, patient care, career development, and what it takes to be successful in dentistry.
Welcome to another episode of Filling You In. I'm Dr. Abhishek Nagaraj.
And I'm Dr. Anushka Gaglani, collectively known as A Squared. Today, we're delighted to welcome a respected voice in dentistry to the podcast who has played a particularly important role in advancing women as leaders in the industry. Dr. Aman Kaur has done this both through her mentoring relationships and through founding Women in DSO, the fastest growing dental association with over 50 partner organizations across the globe.
Dr. Kaur is also a seasoned executive who has assisted DSOs in driving results through clinical excellence and operational discipline. She also holds multiple board roles and works as an operating partner with private equity groups and a consultant for their DSO portfolio companies. Dr. Kaur, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for such a kind introduction. When you all were talking about me, it was like, whoa, okay, thank you so much. I'm in awe of both of you, so it's a pleasure to be here and excited to be learning about Areo and having this conversation.
Pleasure is truly ours, Dr. Kaur. Thank you for taking time. We know you're really busy, so this means a lot that you were able to make it here. We'd like to dive into our first question by asking you, we'd like to just start out by hearing about your journey into dentistry. What drew you into the field? What was your inspiration?
Yeah, it's my favorite topic to talk about myself. I think many of you know me over the years. I hate to talk about how many years it's been in DSO space. Makes me feel really old and like a fossil. But coming from the families I was raised in, it's being in healthcare, or is kind of like the preferred way to grow up. So yes, I always wanted to be a clinician, and dentistry happened to be my preference. And once I started dentistry, I learned that it is a lot more than just working on patients. And I've been very fortunate to work with great clinicians, great organizations throughout. And I learned that you're just as good as your slowest step. And then, so I learned that importance of team and how to get the best out of other people. So went back to business school, learned how to create teams, communities, and then grew my career by working through various DSOs. And as I was working through DSOs, I got to learn the business side of dentistry, the importance of team, building a good culture, how to retain clinicians, because all those things are imperative. And then in working in DSOs also teaches that your ultimate patient, a customer is your dentist, and then patient experience is the way to get to the heart of the dentist. So building things that are around patient experience, and those things are near and dear to my heart. And that's kind of what has been my career journey. And while working through DSOs and all these private equity groups, I saw that lion's share of work were being done by women in dental offices, in DSOs. We just need to have similar representation at the top tier of the DSOs. So that's where Women in DSO started as a passion project, and it's something been very exciting to see grow in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's famous. I see Women DSO everywhere I look. So definitely done some good work on that for sure.
Yes.
Dr. Kaur, so you've been a player in the growth of the DSO industry. What do you think are the key factors driving its growth?
Now it's no different than any other industry. Every industry needs to over time get more efficient, get more closer to their ultimate customers, and be better at whatever they are. And we live in a great country, and capitalism is a part of this country, and it has been part of the growth of various sectors, not just dentistry. And as financial sector made notice of how segregated dentistry is, so all that money coming into dentistry, it led to a lot of these efficiencies and consolidation. So that's what led to DSO. That's what initiated DSO growth. But I feel over time, it has led to better customer experience, because once you have, a practice down the street, Dr. Smith seeing patients, no one's checking their work. There's no peer review. There's no quality measures. But once you are in a DSOs, there is a very strong peer review program even in a very, very small DSO groups. I've seen that is like core foundation of those things. Consistency in billing practices, in training practices for teams. All those things are really, really important things. And I feel that's what today's generation wants. And they want predictability in their experience as employees, as team members, and as patients. And DSOs provide that. So it's very natural to see DSOs growing and helping elevate the dental industry.
Yeah, right on. You hit on a lot of good points there. Speaking of, I think you're well positioned, Dr. Kaur, to talk about some DSO structures and business models that you think are most effective. You've also been part of an operating partner for a lot of private equity groups. What are you seeing currently, and what do you think works really at a high level?
Yeah, it's actually my favorite topic these days. When DSOs originally started, it was very, very franchise. This is the corporate, and these are the practices. Then it changed to this is the corporate, and then these are the practices. It became more service oriented. But it didn't really change the structure. It was still a corporation, and then a friendly PC or multiple friendly PCs, but dentists were still employees, not key stakeholders, or not several of them. My favorite part about the evolution of DSOs and the dentist playing key role in that evolution is now dentists have come to the table, and they are voicing what future needs. And for future needs is joint ventures. And I feel like joint ventures is the way to go forward for DSO growth. It is really, really my favorite DSO models out of the various I've seen. And in that joint venture models, one can be very creative. You can have a DSO structure where there's a joint venture at the holdco level, and then you can even have professional corporations based on different states, and then have ownership at that level. Then there could be ownership at the practice level, and all those things we know mean differently in terms of financial incentive, long-term equity, short-term commitment. But having those models, yes, it's a front-end investment, it's high accounting cost, having all those cost units, but I feel this is how you get real alignment with clinicians and financial partners. And in order to row in same direction, you got to be sitting in the same boat, looking at the same direction, have same goal post. And I think the joint ventures provide that.
We're hearing you say shared ownership, shared experiences will create better structures because there's skin in the game for all parties involved. That makes a ton of sense.
Definitely. So, Dr. Kaur, what's some of the baseline advice you provide to practices and practice groups about improving their clinical and operational quality?
Oh gosh, it's a loaded question. And it's so different for everyone. It's kind of like, what is the pain and what is the treatment? If your leg is hurting, you got to provide the treatment for leg, not for arm. So it's kind of where are you hurting or where you want to grow? What is the opportunity? But in general is, have creating this, you can't police people for a long time. So creating structures where people feel watched and not themselves, those things require constant maintenance, or it will require a lot of turmoil, dissatisfaction, and turnover ultimately. Those things don't work long term. But it's there are many roles in dental offices. Those are stepping stone positions, so you can't treat them all equal. But there should be some point where you are like, okay, here from here onwards, you need a team members who are innately inspired, not just motivated by looking at this carrot constantly, but they're innately inspired, and you all are aligned. So it can be, for some organizations, those roles can be office manager roles. For some organizations, it starts probably at area managers or regional directors. It just starts differently for everybody. And I think identifying those, and then at that point, you need to have your non-negotiables, that these are the areas we have to be aligned, and those are the foundations. And I think that's where it starts. In terms of clinicians, I feel clinicians are the backbone of any dental practice, any DSOs. You can't take them lightly. And it's really good to take your time, hire the right dentists who are aligned and who value the same things as you do. Not just saying they value the same things you do. Take your time with them, because hiring dentists is expensive. You are getting them credentialed, you are assembling a team around them. That's not an area to be taken lightly. So that's where I think creating some of those mentorship opportunities, where you could even have dentists learn about your practice operations while they are waiting for their license, or they're working as just associate or observing your practices. Those things can go a very long way. Those are very important investments.
Definitely agree. Some gold in these points. I think I really liked what you said about, it's not a one size fits all approach. Every group is different, right? And then also hiring, we always say that we like to hire adults. We're not going to sit here and nitpick and micromanage every little thing, but you have to be an adult. So I love that you spoke to that as well.
Right on. Right on. Lots of good stuff there. Thank you, Dr. Kaur. Dr. Kaur, we want to shift gears here and talk about your work, some of the work you do with private equity and venture capital firms. How would you size up their current role in today's market?
Oh, today's market is a topic in itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, cost of capital is so expensive. So we haven't seen much M&A activity in now almost over a year.
Mm.
With that said, I like how deliberate all of our private equity groups or financial partners are. The days of just grow for the sake of growing is over, and I think private equity groups are learning that there is this is a time to buckle down and focus on organic growth in practices. And I think we hear a lot about this same store growth, and when you hear a word too many times, it becomes cliche, it loses its value.
Mm-hmm.
But same store growth is easier said than done. It's consumers don't have that extra income. They're not going to opt for services that are nice to have, that they can wait for another 6 months. They're not gonna just go for it. And we like it or not, it's just the world we are in right now. People are even waiting on some of their real very, very urgent needs. I am noticing it. So what we need to private equity groups, they can't push groups to grow for the sake of growing. And at the same time, our labor costs are outrageous right now, but we need to invest in technology if we want to manage that labor costs. And there is no such thing as cutting costs. It's only managing cost. So I think DSOs have that responsibility to manage costs. There are times where in the past we could do a lot of those nice to haves, but at the same time, don't cut yourself from your future. So invest in your future. There are decisions you need to be able to see those through. So what private equity groups I am asking them to do is they have always a lot of need for data and reporting structures, and I have asked them to provide some of their resources to help the groups we are working with versus trying to hire another employee just to provide reports to them. So that's kind of one thing they can help us with. Second, largely a lot of groups, they are invested in similar companies with audiology or some other vertical that we can leverage some vendor relations. So trying to find those synergies where we could leverage some of those relationships to manage our expenses. I think those are kind of like low-hanging fruits when you're working with private equity groups to grow their investment and also, continue to manage your EBITDA.
Really good points there. You'd mentioned, Dr. Kaur, earlier, women in DSO and how you started it a little bit. We kind of went into a little bit. Can you go into more detail? What exactly was the impetus and how did it start and how has it grown so big?
First, we are not so big. We are just kind of, I think it feels big because um, DSOs and dental industries, women dominated. That's why it feels big. But I feel like we have a long, long, long way to go. We feel inside still a baby organization. We're kind of like a employee and a half. We're hitting on all cylinders all the time. It's not all that big of an organization as it needs to be to serve all of our member base. How it started is because it was just me asking constantly this question that how come we see so many women in DSOs leading so many departments doing the real work, but not representing their work? Why can't we learn from women leaders about their work versus someone else who just have an idea about their work, explaining their work?
Right.
And I asked that question for many years, and ultimately I decided that you can ask the question or do something about it. So we got together and formed our association, and it grew because it was a gap in the industry, and then everybody needed this community. And foundation of our organization is our mentorship program, our educational library content, and it is real access to this network of very influential and very motivated group of individuals across the industry. So once you come to that room with advisory board of almost 50 executives who represent all aspects of dental industry across the globe, there is nothing that left unanswered. And I think that community just has grown and built around the needs and gaps they had experienced over many, many years.
Right on. Yeah. No, I think you saw a gap. You did something about it. Kudos to you. That's amazing. What I think you answered my next question that I had is, what does women in DSO? What are some ways that you're able to advance women? And you said there are mentorship programs. Anything else that you'd like to touch on? Are there other ways that your organization is advancing women?
So the shiniest gem in our crown, if one would say, it is our mentorship program, and we have received strong kudos from executives from large organizations. They felt this program did more for them than the programs in their own organizations. But second, very close, is our wellness program. Our wellness program is built around financial wellness, professional development, relationship joy, and mental and physical health. So around those pillars, we have a very strong wellness program, and we are actually in process of launching our wellness plan that will be almost like employee assistance program for large organizations. And the benefits will include legal assistance, financial assistance, 24/7 psychiatric helplines, speech therapy. So we are building programs that elder care and pet care, a lot of these benefits that are currently lacking, and they are very women-centric benefits. So we want to make a lot of those things available.
That's so cool. So it's not just a professional organization. It's really holistic. It's all about the person.
Yeah, it's because I mean, coming from the DSO space and for-profit sector, so how I think of it is that how can I could give so much value to our organizations, so much value to our members that it goes beyond just sit around in a room and then say kumbaya. It's not about that. It is a true access to this community. Yes, that is invaluable. I cannot underestimate their value, but then we need tangible benefits that they could say, I have this because of women in DSO. And, in a year, we had almost 1,200 members. So in a year, if 50 people's life is affected or taken them further than they would have gone without it, then it did its job.
Yeah, we already know you haven't just impacted 1,200 people. You probably impacted their kids, kids, right? That's how impact works, and it's really cool. This is exciting stuff. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure. You're so kind. Thank you so much for saying such kind words.
It's our pleasure.
So, last question, Dr. Kaur. What is your prediction about the place women will occupy in the DSO space in the coming years?
Oh gosh, I wish I could not just predict it, but control it. I think it's going to keep evolving. In terms of DSO growth, women are already impacting it so very much. They may not be visible making that impact, but they are impacting it already significantly. So it's I think if they continue to impact and then we see them more in leadership roles, we just know that statistically, by having more women in leadership role, we will be closer to our consumers, we'll be closer to our customers. It's a statistic we all know, more than 80% of financial decisions of any household are being made by women. So it just brings us closer to our customers. So with that said, internally, women inherently are better mentors and they like mentoring people. So I hope that would lead to more retention of team members, and then overall our satisfaction with our team members and our patients. And then we will be more focused on services that our future generations want. And, with med spa industry growing and rapidly merging closely with dentistry, and especially with dentists, there's no one better to work in head and neck region than dentists. So it is, I can see women playing a role, bringing these two industries closer together faster.
Very exciting. Exciting times we live in.
Yes, it is the best time to be in this industry. It really is.
Totally agree. Totally agree. So we're going to do a quick lightning round. It's going to be 3 questions. So the first one, what was your last impulse buy?
Oh God, too many. But I have splurged into this coffee machine that I totally did not need. I travel a lot, but yeah, I have bought an unnecessarily expensive coffee machine.
You're talking to Abhishek is the king of coffee loving. So
I'm a fellow coffee aficionado. So Dr. Kaur, no amount of money is enough for a coffee machine. So it's great. This is fantastic.
You know what? I've learned it's a trap. Now I have to buy fresh coffee beans because that's the key.
Right.
And that you can only store it for a very short period of time for maintain the freshness. And then I have learned that people end up liking certain kind of grind for certain beans. I was like, God, I need like Chat GPT assistant on this or something.
I've realized if you keep it long enough, it goes from caffeine to decaf. So you can just it just gets so
I'm
low.
not sure that's how it works. Awesome.
So yeah, I'll be giving you a call to get some idea.
What are the least likely 3 words someone would use to describe you?
I was thinking about when you sent me that question. It's a very strange way of asking this question, but I loved it. I think the least likely is someone will think of me as boring. I am get bored very quickly, so I keep things fresh a lot more than needed. And so least likely is boring, and second is I um, I take risks, big risks. So I don't know if it's, but I am also very cautious. So I don't know what would be the right balance, but I can take risks and unambitious. I always had ambitions to do different things.
Yeah, I know we've only met briefly in the past, but just in this conversation, I could definitely agree with those.
With all the things you do, ain't no one calling you unambitious. There's no one.
Uh, I think our industry is very ambitious, and it is such, like we were talking about, it's such a great time. I think it'll be a disservice to be complacent and not continue to grow our industry or add something meaningful. So I either just get out of the way or don't do a disservice to the industry.
Right on.
Right. Absolutely. Last one. What is your go-to karaoke song?
I am bad at singing and karaoke, but it's the home song "Home." I love that. My son sings it. He's been singing it since 5th grade, so I love that.
Nice.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Kaur. It's truly appreciated.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for keeping it so crisp and meaningful. I like podcasts like that. So congratulations for having such a meaningful platform.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I'm Dr. Anushka Gaglani.
I'm Dr. Abhishek Nagaraj. Thanks for checking out today's show, and we hope you can join us again next time.
Thanks for watching this episode of Filling You In, where we uncover the insights, trends, and stories shaping the dental industry. If you like this podcast, please share it on your social channels and visit Areo Dental Group on LinkedIn or on Instagram @Areo Dental Group. You can also subscribe to the series and check out all of our episodes on this YouTube channel or at areodental.com/podcast. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and let's keep elevating the dental field together.